Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today, and welcome to our Jewellery Webinar Series in topic Unusual Shifting Cultural and Social Perceptions of Jewelry. Before we start, let me explain a little bit about Q&A sessions. If anyone has questions while speaker speaking, please type the questions in Q&A box at the bottom of your screen. And for those in Facebook Live, please type your questions in the comments box. If you are experiencing any technical problems, please type your issue in Q&A box. Lastly, we are honored to welcome Mr. Taweesak Molsawat, our jewelry artist, educator, and researcher to our webinar. So let's welcome Mr. Taweesak to the webinar.
Hi, thank you, and good afternoon, everyone.
Yes, I believe now it's time that everyone is waiting for. So I'll hand it over to our speaker. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. It's such a great honor for me to have the opportunity to share my interest and my expertise in jewelry with all of you today from a design and research approach. Well, hold on, let me. Okay, I'm sorry for that. Well, my talk title, Unusual Shifting Cultural and Social Perception of Jewelry. This talk will discuss and explore, including analyze functions and roles of jewelry based on cultural, social, political, and economic context from the antiquity to industrial revolution up until during a COVID-19 pandemic. And hopefully I will be able to project the possibility of a new opportunities for jewelry industry in the post-COVID-19. Now, let's take a look at first image. The first image is exhibited the variety uses of jewelry since the antiquity to the present, from body adornment to a cultural belief, to cultural and social status, and lastly to jewelry as a commodity product in today's world. This image is showing examples of the evolution use of jewelry, starting from a cultural belief on the left-hand side, as you can see here. It is milagros or miracle charms from Mexico. It is a jewelry for good health and well-being. Move along to the middle section of the slide. This jewelry is used as an investment. This kind of jewelry is not focusing on a design or cultural value, but emphasizing on the commercial value of using precious materials such as gold and a gemstone. Now let's move to the right-hand side. This is a jewelry with an additional function. It's called fibula. We don't see it nowadays because of the change in the way we dress. It has been widely used during the Roman Empire, not only to decorate the body, but also to fasten the pieces of cloth, which were designed differently from what we have today. Fibula is the ancestor of brooch and pin today. As you can see now, they all have the history, but it's get lost during the evolution. Let's move down to the right-hand side. Jewelry is function as a signifier of social status, such as crowns for king and pope right here, and including the high-end jewelry for the rich as well. Now, the last one in the bottom left, Jewelry as a self-expression. This is very significant because we use jewelry in this role and function nowadays. On the far left, image of Miss Marilyn Albright, the former U.S. Secretary of State during the President Bill Clinton, wearing a statement brooch called Liberty Brooch, designed by Chris Barker. This is very significant because Miss Marilyn Albright is well known for using brooches to make non-verbal, political, and diplomatic statements. Every time when she has to a very significant or the world event, she normally wear brooch to say something without saying anything. Now let's move to the right hand side a little bit. This is in brooch in a black color. This is a morning jewelry. This is a very important event of wearing jewelry because this kind of jewelry is actually become a movement, signify a certain period of time and has a significant as a reminder or memento mori for a loved one who passing away. This morning jewelry is an emotional value for the wearer, very significant emotional approach or attachment to jewelry. Well, remember this one because later on I will speak about modern morning jewelry later. In this slide, it has shown you the possibility to reinvent the contemporary jewelry designs for today and future design and marketing possibility. We forgot that jewelry is not function only for a decorative item. It has a certain and additional functions as well. Now let's move along. From craft in the workshop with a handmade jewelry, as you can see in this slide, jewelry industry had evolved due to the Industrial Revolution, creating the word design and moving in factory as opposed to be in the workshop for mass production. Jewelry industry has started at this moment with the use of new technology. It's very important. Everything changed, it's undeniable. And the new technology become part of the change and the shifting of a jewelry design and jewelry making to offer something new for society. Now, let's switch off to the present day. As you can see on this slide, before I discuss about this slide, I would like to ask you how's your COVID-19 experiences has been. Well, if we want to predict what will happen after COVID-19 pandemic, we have to be able to analyze and study what had happened before and during COVID-19 pandemic, because in order to project the future, we have to understand what has happened and what is happening now. Well, in order to project the possibility and new territories after COVID-19, we have to study and analyze pre-existing cultural, social, and economic situation before and during COVID-19, as I mentioned. Here in this slide is a summary of what has happened to the majority of us during COVID-19. The uncertainty, right here, the uncertainty creates fear due to the unknown and uncured virus, pushing us into the isolation, resulting in job loss and the shortage of supply, food, and medication devices and supply. All of those are the significant factor to create a sense of medical and health awareness, including economic awareness as well, pushing us to be a lot more independence and self-sufficiency, meaning that, well, we can do it ourselves now. We have to because we don't have any supplier, everything disrupt during COVID-19. We have to learn it and do it ourselves. This is a very significant shift in terms of cultural and social behavior. Now, let's talk about what would happen after COVID-19 era for jewelry, and actually is for other industry as well. Well, let's take a look at this. I have for you is 4 words to keep in mind when preparing your business after COVID-19. The first one is adaptability. The second one is creativity. The third one is technology. And the last one is sustainability. With the idea of personal health and emotional well-being. This is very important. I want you to keep in mind. Because of the experience of COVID-19 and the new movement prior to that, the consumer behavior will be changed with the health and economic concern. New technology savvy and pay special attention to personal value of time and self-sufficiency. This projection is very significant when you want to redesign and reform your next move for your business in the post-COVID-19 era. Speaking about sustainability, we as a jewelry industry has to consider and use jewelry's circular economy in our business now, making sure that there is no waste or minimize waste and raw materials in all aspects. Starting from design is very important. If you want to reform, just start with the design part. Thinking, brainstorming, see all the possibility before you actually commit it to any direction. Starting from design, move along to production, distribution, consumption, use, with the idea of reuse, repair, redesign, and recycle in mind. This is very significant, otherwise it's well worked. And also you have to consider rethinking, reform, and redesign the new creative thinking and design department. This department will be the one that's significant in order to move forward to the future after the post-COVID-19 pandemic. Now, this is an example of a sustainable jewelry design practice from Canada. It is Canada's Foxy Original. This costume jewelry brand recycles worn jewelry pieces by allowing their clients to return, redesign, recycle, or use jewelry for a new design with less cost and waste. How fantastic the idea. Another example of sustainable practice by designer Ronnie Hooper. Question the industrial standard of production by reusing rejected casting pieces from jewelry manufacturing as a raw material for new design and new green production. Well, I love this idea. This is an excellent example of a new business model, as I mentioned earlier, by sharing profit with the needed community and society, with a 20% donated to needed community and charity in every sale for this collection. This is a good business model, sharing your profit with the community for sustainable living together. Make everyone happy. Now let's talk about technology. In today's fast-moving world, new technology has been developed faster than ever, particularly in the time of COVID-19. The adaptability of using new technologies are unavoidable. Unavoidable, remember. If you want to compete and survive, unless you have something in your business that others do not have, that's a plus. Well, these new technologies can help the future businesses in multiple ways, such as digital technology for design, production, and online marketing. Also, a new material technology has invented every day. I will talk about that later too. With that in mind, business transparency right here is also a key for future practice. It's supposed to be easy to understand and study the transparency of each business. We have to adapt that. This picture shows an example of jewelry with aesthetic and practical functions, incorporating digital technology as a part of jewelry design. Well, once USB has become part of the daily life, why not combine digital function with stylish beauty? When I first saw this design, I thought it's excellent. I just love it. Because instead of carrying a USB around your neck, you actually wearing a beautiful and stylish pendant, plus digital function as well. Now, using digital technology and platform, now the customers or consumers can create their own dress now in this slide online, saving time and money with a fully satisfaction. I believe that jewelry can do that too. If you can create trust with your clients, if you have a precious material or high-end jewelry industry in hand. Also, online fashion store nowadays creates collections based on customer designs, as you can see in this slide. Consumers can pick and choose and can customize their own designs to fit their own taste and budget. This is very important because if it's too expensive, they will not buy it. And if they don't like it, you give them the choice to pick and choose. This is fantastic. And I think that jewelry industry can adapt this approach to online marketing as well. Now let's move along. Let's move along with health and economic concern through the experience of COVID-19. In this slide, jewelry design has to adapt to multiple functions and uses. This DIY health bracelet is an excellent example of jewelry/personal device using new digital technology and new digital application as a part of a jewelry design, creating a hybrid jewelry design for new marketing. Now, in addition to digital technology, particularly 3D program with a rapid prototyping and milling machine that have been widely used in jewelry industry now. Today, there is a new metal 3D printer that can be used to print metal directly. This is exciting because of this machine. Yeah, for sure. This technology will be quite expensive today, but in the long run, I believe that as in other new technology, when the prices of this machine drop down, is accessible for industry, I think it will change the way we run the business entirely, not only in terms of the design, but in terms of the production as well as distribution as well. Now let's talk about design and creativity. which is very important to push the jewelry industry forward in the post-COVID-19 pandemic and beyond. Take a look at this slide. With the shifting of cultural, social, and economic behaviors, the focus of creativity and design is on aesthetic and practical functions with a sustainable approach. Now, let's take a look at the circular economy. Using circular economy for the effectively use of resources and minimize waste and raw material to save costs and to increase the quality of life. Creating and designing jewelry with multiple functions and the idea of DIY by including customer or consumer to be a part of design process with their own preference of jewelry is a fantastic idea. Emphasizing on a personal health and emotional well-being. Because of the pandemic, the social and cultural behavior has been changed. Asking yourself, before you get out of your house, what have you have in your bag? Gel alcohol for your hand cleaning, a medical mask, and etc. This is very significant now. So the idea of the design after the post-COVID-19, I would suggest to emphasize on a personal health and emotional well-being. Now the last one is technology. Incorporating new technologies such as digital technology, new material and production technology. This would also enable jewelry industry to push further for a new marketing opportunity as well. Well, this slide is very exciting. First, when I saw it, it looked like ordinary and usual as a jewelry that we saw in everyday life. But once I realized where it's coming from, I just fall in love with this kind of approach to a jewelry industry. This is a perfectly use of a new technology for revisiting the idea of morning jewelry. Remember morning jewelry? This is the one that I'm talking about, using a new technology. By revisiting the idea of morning jewelry with a modern and stylish spin, this company allows you to design your memories by transforming the ashes or organic matter of the loved one or pets into a gemstone by using the scientific imitation of the formation process. This design is from Jewellery Thailand Corporation Limited. Can you believe that? Technology would enable or push you further to create a new dimension to a jewelry design and jewelry industry. Well, this one looks interesting because this is an emotional approach by design for jewelry. This pendant is a documentation of a personal experience. It's focusing on emotionally. Well, if you cannot get access to technology, it's just thinking about how would you use your design as a way to communicate or connect with your consumer or your clients emotionally. This would help too. Now, in this slide, you can see very stylish pendant. This is a new jewelry design. It is a good example of both aesthetic and practical functions for personal health and emotional well-being design. It is a Fitbit Flex tool. It is an accessory pendant which can track your activity all day. Normally, the personal device that we have in the market is focused on digital technology, not on the design or emotional attachment to the device. This is a good time for jewelry industry to take advantage of the connection of our product with a personal attachment to a jewelry. Well, to conclude the new design approach for a jewelry industry for the post-COVID-19 pandemic, the focus should be on aesthetic and practical functions with multiple uses, and emphasizes on personal health and emotional well-being. Now, besides big jewelry companies, there are many more of the local jewelry entrepreneurs and small and medium enterprise, or SME, as a part of the whole jewelry industry as well. It's undeniable. And the matter of fact is that, well, these small jewelry entrepreneurs, when it's comprised together, it has a big volume in terms of business size as well. Therefore, their adaptation will be different because their business scale and brand identity are different. Therefore, the preparation will be different. These SME enterprises need to focus on the first one is being a part of community and position their jewelry as a cultural treasure product. This is very significant. Second, establish a local education for jewelry making and design to increase human resource and sharing the benefit with the local community. This is a very important, because in order to make sure that everyone happy, you have to make sure that your business operation is based on the community healthy as well. Third, for a jewelry design, focus on both conservative and development approach. This is for the local jewelry entrepreneurs though. Emphasizing on a cultural revival with a new authenticity and new identity. This is very important. And the last one over here is a networking. Well, for a small jewelry industry, networking is very important. Working together with a shared value, resources, supply, and profit together locally. This is very important. Many of you, I think, experienced already what happened during a COVID-19 after each of the country closed down their door for other countries. The shipping, the sending of the supplies has been shut down. What would you do? If you don't have any supply or logistic locally, what would you do? You cannot run your business. Therefore, for small or even big, you have to prepare for what might happen. Again, similar to this. Therefore, you have to balance between the local suppliers and also the international supplier as well. Now, these are pictures of jewelry pieces from Sukhothai and Sulin local jewelry entrepreneurs with a conservative approach for preserving cultural value. This is a very important. We cannot leave anyone behind if we're speaking about jewelry industry as a whole. Now, before I finish my talk today for jewelry industry, big and small, the focus after the COVID-19 pandemic should be on 4 words, as I mentioned earlier. The first one is adaptability. The second one is creativity. The third one is technology. And the last one is sustainability. In terms of design and creativity, core concept should be focused on multiple functions. And the idea of the DIY with the circular economy and the issue of personal health and emotional well-being, this is very important. I hope that my talk today will help to generate your own ideas in order to strengthen your business moving forward to the post-COVID-19. The most significant preparation is to evaluate and understand your own business in the most current situation and condition. Then make any adjustment accordingly. Not up to me, but it is up to your understanding of your own business, because each of you have a different type of business and different backgrounds, and also different way of approaching your own business. Now asking yourself, what is your adjustment and adaptation would be? Thank you everyone for attending my webinar. It has been an honor for me to have the opportunity to share my passion and my expertise with all of you today, and hope that you all will be successful with your own business in the jewelry industry. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Taweesak. That is very interesting and useful content. Now it's time for Q&A sessions. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask your questions in the Q&A box and Facebook Live comment. While waiting for the questions, I would like to bring your attention to our webinar survey. It will pop up to your screen after the webinar is finished. And we will also send the survey through email to those who don't have time to do it today. Please take your time. Your feedback is very important for our enhancement. Right now, we have received some questions from the audience already. So let's start with the first questions. In your opinion, what is the position of jewelry industry during COVID-19 pandemic, and what will it be after that?
Well, this question is quite difficult to answer, but I will try my best though. Jewelry industry during COVID-19 has been not good. The same as in other business due to fear, isolation, and economic hardship. If we cannot boost our customers' confidence through our adaptation and business adjustment, including jewelry policy and the discovery of the vaccine, it will continue going downhill as it's happened now in all sectors of the jewelry industry. We have to make a change. Now, what will happen after that? The second question that you asked. We have to understand that jewelry is a luxury product. It is expensive mostly and not necessary. Therefore, we as an industry have to reevaluate our business and practices for a new social, cultural, and economic behavior. It will get better for sure. Once we found vaccine and get into a normal life, but the question is that, what should we do from now on? That's a really good question. Thank you.
Okay, let's move to the next questions. Can you suggest how can online marketing is effective for jewelry industry, as jewelry products supposed to be seen physically?
Well, you are absolutely right, because jewelry is an expensive product. It would be better for the consumer to approach this kind of industry personally and physically. However, online marketing is an effective outlet when you cannot meet your clients directly, particularly during a COVID-19. But you have to understand that jewelry is expensive. Therefore, you have to create trust with your clients. Otherwise, it will not work at all for online marketing. In case of the fashion or less expensive jewelry, online marketing is a reasonable and effective tool for not only communicating your brand story and philosophy, but can communicate directly and widely to the consumers, in my opinion.
Thank you. Regarding to marketing for jewelry, besides online, do you have any alternative ways for jewelry industry?
Well, I still believe that online marketing also have a limitation in our jewelry industry. Part of it is that, well, jewelry is attached to, it has a cultural and emotional value. Not to say that it's undeniable that it also have a commercial and economic value, and it's really expensive. That's why you pay for it. It would be better if we can meet in person between the seller, brand, and also consumer. However, the online marketing will still be there no matter what. It's undeniable. But once the crisis is easing down, offline marketing will be a significant marketing approach, both in store and at the exhibition in the jewelry fair, particularly for high-end and precious jewelry industry, is undeniable. Because not only you can experience jewelry and gemstone in person, but before you making a decision, but you can also search for other things related to jewelry industry in the exhibition and jewelry fair as well. This is a fantastic experience for a consumer to attend the offline marketing approach that I think it still be there and is undeniable as well.
Thank you. Next question, can you predict after COVID-19 ends, which design or product categories will attract buyers?
Well, as I mentioned during my talk, there's an answer in there, but I will explain that a little bit further to all of you though. Well, I call it a hybrid, meaning that jewelry is no longer jewelry only. It has a certain additional functions to a jewelry as well. Because as I mentioned during my talk, I believe that the core concept of design after COVID-19 should be focused on multiple functions and the idea of DIY, meaning that allow the consumer to become part of the design. I don't know how to put into a categories of jewelry, but I think this design approach needs a new word for a marketing strategy as well. With the idea of using circular economy and the issue of personal health and emotional well-being. Remember, jewelry is not a necessary product. How could we connect with our consumer in a different level using emotional design to connect with your clients is a way to actually open up a new approach, a new marketing for our clients after the COVID-19 pandemic.
Okay. For the last questions, can you suggest or say something to people who still don't know what to do with their business during COVID-19 pandemic?
Well, I believe that when you say they don't know what to do with their business, well, they're just afraid. You know, you cannot be afraid. Do not be afraid. Just making a conscious decision regarding your business and life. If it is too much, taking a break. Be prepared and come back stronger. That's my advice. But if you want to fight and survive, think 4 words that I mentioned during my talk: adaptability, creativity, technology, and sustainability, and keep moving forward with conscious. The problem that we face during COVID-19 is a part of life. Do not be afraid. Just keep going, keep fighting. It will get better. Thank you.
Thank you, Khun Taweesak, for answering all the questions. So I believe now it's time that the webinar should be done. Finally, I would like to thank you, Mr. Taweesak, again for joining us and provide very interesting information to us. A special thanks to the GEM and the Jewellery Institute of Thailand, public organizations, for supporting this webinar, which could not happen without them. So thank you very much, Ka.
ขอบคุณครับ Thank you.
Yes. Lastly, thank you all for joining our webinar today. We hope that the content we have presented today would be very useful for you all. You can scan the QR code to get more information and updated news in our Facebook page. Besides, please don't forget to like and subscribe our Facebook page. For rewatch video, you can rewatch a video in our YouTube channel and also in Facebook channel. Thank you all and see you all again in next webinar series. ขอบคุณค่ะ